welcome back to Rue's Life, and welcome to December's Ponderings from the Polytunnel. I always love this time of the month when I film my ponderings because it's a really great opportunity to really reflect on the month gone by, especially at this time of the year when it's easy to feel that we're kind of pedaling like crazy and going nowhere fast. It's coming towards the end of the month and of course the end of the year, and it's great to be able to look back and actually realise what I've achieved, the things that I've done, especially with these shorter days, poorer weather and less sunshine. It's really easy to fall into that trap of feeling as though all we're doing is, the sort of bare essentials, from my perspective, going to work, coming home, rinse, repeat. So it's great to sit down and think about the things that I have done and to project forward to the things that I'm looking forward to. So first of all, a massive thank you. I've had lots of new subscribers over the last month or so, and so thank you, welcome aboard, and thank you so much for subscribing and joining my channel. I really appreciate it. And another thank you to the fabulous Ali, who in this beautiful recycled packaging all the way from Canada has sent me yet more, Ali, thank you, more seeds. So Ali's been following me for a while. She's great. We see her out and about on lots of the YouTube channels and also social media, and she's so generous. Thank you, Ali. So on this occasion, if I dig into my packet, she has sent me some giant marigold, which I'm really looking forward to getting in and seeing those flourish. And as ever, your generosity knows no bounds. So Ali had contacted me and asked me if I wanted some of the giant marigolds, but she can't ever just send me one thing. So I've also got some teddy bear sunflowers, really excited about growing those, some mixed zinnia and some red marigolds. So thank you, honestly, I love getting things in the post and really looking forward to growing those next season, and I will keep you up to date with the progress of how they go. These are going to go an awfully long way to one of my projects for 2022, so thank you. So let's pop those back in their little packet. So work's still going really well. I'm loving it still. I've been started off doing days, I've done a big chunk of nights, and now I'm on a kind of a nice mix of days and nights, and I'm still absolutely loving it. Here on the farm, everything's great. We're ticking along nicely. The horses are finally in their winter pasture. We were a little bit late getting them there after the storm, so we had two big storms in quite close succession. We had Storm Arwen, and then very quickly after that we had Storm Barra. Storm Arwen caused the most of the damage here, and we had some trees that went down, and two of them were hawthorns that actually went over into our big winter grazing paddock. It's one of our biggest grazing areas, and we rest it up so there's plenty in there to keep the horses going through the bulk of the winter months. They are on hard feed now as well, but as I say, that's the field we rest and use through the winter months. And the hawthorns that came down actually took a fence out with them. So what we've done for now, because time is a factor and we've had other projects like the chicken lockdown project going on, so we've put some temporary fencing around those fallen trees, which meant we could get the horses moved. I've got Garth clipped out at last. That was a few weeks ago now, so he doesn't get all hot and sweaty when I ride him. I am looking for some dressage competitions. Haven't found anything that's compatible with my working shift pattern at the moment, but there's a few out there, and there's one venue that we particularly like to go to, and they haven't got their next year's fixtures list out yet, so I'm fingers crossed that I can get out there. Failing that, there is some still some online dressage that I could enter, where you essentially film your test at home and then you send it in. And actually I've been involved with that before, and it's great fun because it's not just a UK based thing, it's worldwide, so you could be competing with people from Hong Kong, Australia, anywhere in the world. So that's really quite exciting. It's not the same as getting out to an actual real competition, but it's something I might do over the coming months just to get back into the spirit of things. But as I say, horses are doing really well. They're all looking great. Garth had his new shoes a couple of days ago, so everything's good with the horses. The sheep are the sheep, doing their usual thing, looking beautiful, cracking little lawnmowers, They haven't gone down to their winter grazing yet. I've actually still got them on the menage field where the stables are, and they're doing a really good job of mowing the edges, if you like, the bits that have gone a bit overgrown and a bit tufty. So we're letting them do their job, eating that down before we move them down to their winter pasture. The dogs are still their usual wonderful selves. I've been getting them out for regular walks. I do walk them here around the farm, but I really like to try and get them off the farm at least once a week, because I think it's good for their mental health. So physically, you know, to go for walks around the farm, that's great. It's also really relaxing and it's nice and easy because I can just go. But for them, you know, a car journey, what dog doesn't love jumping in the car? They get super excited about going in the car. And I like to take them out to the canal or the mere or one of the local country parks, and they get lots of different smells, different things to see, and also interacting with other people and other dogs, which is great for them. Kay has got her next 6-month heart checkup, which is in January. That's all booked up, so we're good to go. And we've also just ordered her a truckload of her ongoing medication, so they should be arriving in the next couple of days. But they're fit and well and happy. They're currently on the sofa, which is one of their favourite places to be, chilling out, happy as you like. The chickens have settled really well into their new environment, and I'm absolutely thrilled with that chicken area that we've made for chicken lockdown, as explained in those videos, and I will insert the link to that above. There's 2 videos, part 1 and part 2. So if you are in the UK and you do have chickens and you're struggling for ideas of how to keep your chickens safe during the avian flu outbreaks, which pretty much come every year now, do check those videos out, because it's taken us years to reach this conclusion. We've had to invest a little bit of time and money, but it's been so worth it. Going forwards, it's going to be much, much easier, and it's given them a much better environment to be in when we have to lock them down. So I'm still picking bits of kale and also some of the outer leaves from the sprouts. And the other greens I've got going, the broccoli, throwing those in for them on a regular basis, and also dangling apples, carrots, that kind of thing, on bits of old baler twine for them to peck at. And they must be happy, because we're still getting an average of between 1 and 3 eggs a day, so they're still laying for us, which is great. I haven't been to the theatre since the last Ponderings. We've both been a bit flat out, and obviously with the whole lurgy that's floating around, and things changing with that, we're just being a little bit more cautious. However, I'm really looking forward in the new year. I'll be taking my mum, all things being well. Those of you that are regular watchers of my Ponderings will know that we love to frequent our local theatre, which is the closest to us, which is Theatre Clwyd. And it's between a half hour and an hour's drive away from us. It's near Mould, and they're currently getting ready to celebrate, I think it's 45 years of them being a theatre. And I noticed on one of their social media posts, they were asking for people's memories of, you know, happy times that we've spent over the years going to the theatre. So I'd popped my response on, which was just a couple of lines, about how I used to enjoy going to the theatre with my mum when I was a lot younger, and it was one of our things that we used to do, particularly when I was working. I was a teenager and I was working in one of the riding stables that I worked in. Those of you that follow me will know, and those of you that are new will not know, that I actually left school to work with animals, and I was a riding instructor for a number of years. And this was the second place that I went to work, and I absolutely loved it. I had a wonderful summer there. I lived on site in a caravan, and it was just one of the best summers I could, you know, looking back, it was the longest, hottest, most wonderful summer, working with horses, meeting amazing people, and I really, really enjoyed it. But I digress. The point of the story being that my mum used to pick me up. I had 1 day off a week. Mum used to come over in a red mini metro that she had at the time at the end of my last working day before my day off, and we'd load up my washing and all my bits and bobs, and I'd get dressed up, as did she, and we would go from the riding stables back home to mum and dad's on Anglesey, and en route we would call at Theatre Clwyd. We'd have got theatre tickets and we'd go and see a performance, and you know, those are such happy memories. And then after the performance, we'd usually pick up a takeaway on the way home if it wasn't too late, and then we'd get back to mum and dad's. And then on my day off, bless her, my mum used to do all my washing for me, take me to the local supermarket to buy my weekly shop, which she would stash away in her fridge or freezer for me, and then we'd load it all back up the next day and drive back to the riding stables with my clean washing ready for another week of work. So, very long-winded way of saying that I popped my memory on the Theatre Clwyd, as a response to them asking for our memories, and they actually got in touch with me and they wanted to record a sound clip. Now, they did actually invite me to go to the theatre and record it there, but what with one thing or another, I simply couldn't fit that in. So I recorded a sound clip for them and I sent it, and they're including it in their exhibition, which is super exciting. So they've got an exhibition in the first 2 weeks of January, and it's called A Building Full of Memories. So I've managed to get tickets for me and Mum, and I thought it'd be a really great way to celebrate. Not only have I been asked to be included, but to go and listen to other people's memories and see. It's an interactive exhibition, so to go and see what they've put on, but also to go with my mum, because that's where that memory came from. So we're really looking forward to that. Fingers crossed, all being well. Things are changing at the moment here in the UK, as I'm sure they are everywhere, but we're not going to dwell too much on this new strain and what may or may not happen in the future. Let's concentrate on the here and now and make some plans for the not too just distant future. We have to make plans, even if they may change. So on to books that I've been reading. So I really enjoyed The Man Who Didn't Call by Rosie Walsh. It had some fabulous plot twists and some real, oh my goodness, moments where I actually had to flick back and think, gosh, yeah, I just didn't see that coming. I don't know if any of you do that sometimes when you're reading a book and you have one of those aha moments and you think, really? And I kind of flick back a couple of chapters and reread, and you read it from a completely different perspective because you've just had this aha moment. So really good book, I can highly recommend it. Then after that, I read Camino Wins by John Grisham. Again, another brilliant book with lots of twists and turns. I really enjoyed that. Very well written and very clever. I liked that one. That was good. And then after that, I've just finished reading a really easy to read, just pick it up and keep reading it. Christmassy, kind of bit of romance, little bit predictable, but a nice read. And that was Christmas Carols and a Cornish Cream Tea by Cressida McLaughlin. And it was just a lovely little read. I read it quite quickly and I've really enjoyed it. And in the same theme, I've now picked up another Christmas book, which is called The Merry Christmas Project, and it's by Kathy Bramley, and it's actually for an online book club that I've been invited to join, and it's the first book we're going to read for that book club. So nice and easy, nothing too highbrow, something you can easily read, and also putting us in the festive mood. And then we'll have a wee chat about that online in like a video Zoom type get together sometime in January. So looking forward to reading the book, and also looking forward to dissecting it with like-minded folk in the book club. And then on to my viewing. So Chris and I have been watching, or have watched, the whole series actually of Blown Away, which is on Netflix, and it's a cracking series. It's a competition of glass blowers. It's based in America, but there were competitors from all over, including a couple of UK competitors, and what they create is absolutely phenomenal. So it's kind of watching people creating, it's artistic, and it's a really lovely competition. It's the usual format where they start off with so many. You've got your presenters and judges. They have a guest judge each episode as well, and somebody gets knocked out each round until you get through to the winner. But it's a really nice series, and really interesting, and some of, as I say, the artistic creations from glass just literally blew us away. So definitely worth a watch. And at the moment we're watching another series which is on Amazon Prime, and it's called Modern Love, and it's a collaboration between the New York Times and Amazon Studios, and each story is based around a story that has been published in the New York Times in a column of the same name, Modern Love. And they're just little, I think about half-hour long episodes, and they're just lovely little stories. Each are standalone stories, but all with the kind of same theme running through them of love and romance. If you fancy a bit of feel-good viewing, get snuggled up with a blanket on the sofa and a mug of hot chocolate and some nibbles, and pop that on. It's lovely. We've really enjoyed it, and you can either watch an episode or two, or if you're feeling in a bit of a funk, you know, have a PJ day, get on that sofa, get some comfort food in, and have a good old binge watch. So I highly recommend that one as well. So that's pretty much it for this December's Ponderings. We're all wrapped up for Christmas, literally. I've bought a few gifts which are wrapped, and we've got those posted out to those that we wanted to send to. We are posting things this year because we just can't guarantee when we may or may not see people. We're going to try and see people as we can over Christmas, but if we can't see them physically, there's always phone calls, or we can do some FaceTiming. I've not long had my COVID booster, so I've now had my 3 jabs, and I've got my flu jab next week, so that should keep me safe and healthy through the coming months and year. So I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all keeping safe and healthy. Do let me know in the comments below. I love to hear from you about what you've been up to, any book recommendations or watching recommendations. Have you enjoyed any of the recommendations that I've made? Let me know in the comments below. As I say, I do love to hear from you all. And if you are new to my channel, then please do consider subscribing and hit that bell so you'll get notifications of all my latest videos. And to those of you that watch, whether you're new or whether you've been with me from the beginning or anything in between, a massive thank you. And do consider checking out my Facebook page. I will leave a link in the description below. Pop over and say hello. Share some of your photos with me of your garden or your animals or anything you'd like to share. Pop me a comment on my Facebook page. I'd really like to see that. So I'm off to pop the kettle on and make myself a cuppa. So take very good care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon.